I need to tell my community and those families who are waiting, this will be a rough week.
Families in Central Texas.
This was something that happened that no one was prepared for.
Just starting to process deadly floodwaters.
The first thing I thought, this is not real. I'm in a dream.
That killed more than 100 people.
Camp Mystic's the safest place I've ever known, and I just couldn't believe it.
Tonight, search and rescue crews are clinging to hope they'll find dozens still missing.
We have to worry about these snapped trees falling on top of rescuers.
A Washington search and rescue team weighs in on what those in Texas are up against.
That is probably the most dangerous type of technical rescue that anybody does.
What kind of things have you seen out here?
Unthinkable things. I mean, there's things that no one ever would have thought they've seen in their lifetime.
We looked outside and we just saw like an ocean out there. It's just like completely destroying everything.
His last words to me was, "Mama, I love you. And you make sure you tell everybody else I love you. Love them."
Both my parents are deceased. And I said, "Mom, Dad, God, help."
I've lost near friends, best friends, my boss, my godchildren.
It will be worse because we don't know everybody who's missing.
3 days later, we are starting to get a clearer picture of the devastation in Central Texas. So many impacted by July 4th floodwaters. More than 100 people are dead, many of them children. Dozens more are still missing tonight. You can see just how powerful those floodwaters were in the Guadalupe River. New video shows whole cars picked up and smashed as the water carried them away. Those waters sent people throughout Central Texas running for safety with little warning.
It's fresh like spring. You want to pass it on.
Some of them fled an all-girls summer camp, Camp Mystic, that sits right along the Guadalupe River. This is some new video of some of those girls singing as they evacuated by bus. But not everybody made it out. Lila Bonner, Sarah Marsh, Janie Hunt, Eloise Peck, and twins Hannah and Rebecca Lawrence. Those are just some of the young campers who lost their lives. These are images from inside the cabins, and you can see the mess, how the water tossed beds and mattresses, some of the girls' trunks, a stuffed animal left behind as well. And now search and rescue crews have the grueling task of trying to bring some of these families some closure while still searching for survivors. FEMA has crews across the country on standby, ready to deploy to Texas at any moment. King 5's Madeline Carter talked with someone from Washington's team, and what did you find out today?
Greg, it is unlikely Washington Task Force 1 would be deployed to flood-ravaged parts of Texas, but the team based out of Pierce County remains on guard just in case things were to escalate. Earlier today, they took me on a tour of their warehouse.
Always standing by. We know that we could get called at any time, day or night, 24/7.
When emergency strikes, William Palmer is ready to go.
Everything is packed here with what we've got going here to be ready to fly. So
and like the rest of us, he's watching.
You know, you send your kid off to a Christian camp, you know, and you think, oh, you're safe. You know, what could possibly happen besides maybe a skinned knee or a broken arm or something like that? And then this happens and you don't know because they're missing.
The search and rescue team he's in charge of, Washington Task Force 1, likely won't be deployed to Texas. But as one of 28 FEMA task forces in the country, its 218 members know the risk of rising floodwater.
Water operations are the most dangerous thing that a FEMA urban search and rescue team would face. We've had, over the past 10 years, we've had 2 incidents within incidents of our own folks where they were going out to check on a vehicle and got swept under and sucked through a culvert.
And the emotional weight of recovering the missing.
The closure that brings to the community and to the families to be able to put their loved one to rest and know that they're not just out there somewhere. Yeah, that's
gut-wrenching. Williams says an emergency like this could happen in Washington state, which is why he always keeps the $12 million worth of equipment in this warehouse ready. Should we all be ready?
Having a go bag is really a smart idea.
Much like we know to do during wildfire season, having a bag packed with essential supplies can help you survive any emergency evacuation. In the studio tonight, Madeline Carter, King 5 News.
Well, some are asking how much warning was given and whether federal cuts to the National Weather Service played a role. Between the cuts and buyouts, the National Weather Service lost about 600 people between the start of President Trump's second term and April 30th.
That has a dramatic impact to staffing requirements across the country, which has left many forecast offices critically understaffed.
The labor union representing National Weather Service employees says cuts left the offices in Central Texas without staff who normally focus on disaster preparedness and emergency response. Still, it says alerts and warnings were issued starting 12 hours before the floods. So many families are looking for answers tonight about lost loved ones or simply what's next. King 5 has been tracking search and rescue and cleanup efforts for the past 3 days now. Stay with us online and on our streaming service King 5 Plus for the latest out of Central Texas. The remaining fireworks at the site of that deadly California explosion are now ash. This is some new video of the trenches filled with those fireworks, which were set off so they're no longer a hazard. 7 people were killed in that explosion last week. Investigators are still identifying the victims. A 19-year-old man is dead, 5 others hurt after a shooting at a Cedro Woolley party. More than 100 people were gathered for a quinceañera at the Memorial Park Community Center when gunfire erupted just after 11 o'clock Saturday night.
There was an altercation. I don't know what happened preemptively to cause this altercation. So like I said, we're still looking into that and trying to figure out what actually happened.
Police say 2 guns were recovered, but it's unclear whether either was used by the shooter. Officers arrested a suspect, but he was released from custody. Prosecutors say they're not filing charges until they have more evidence.
It's tough when it's a child, and we're going to work really hard to make for sure that we discover exactly what happened here for her.
Right now, Kitsap County investigators are trying to find out what ignited a house fire, killing a 9-year-old girl and her father. This happened in Port Orchard early Saturday morning. 5 family members were home at the time. 3 of them escaped. Investigators think the fire started in a computer room storage. Firefighters tell King 5 there's one important lesson everyone can take away from this.
If you've got exits from your home, you really need to practice them so that you can use them. You can do them really quickly.
Also, make sure to check your smoke detectors. No word yet on what the smoke detector situation was in this home. New surveillance footage shows the moment a car right there smashed into a daycare. This happened in Kent about 1:30 this morning. The manager of Little Pioneer Academy says the building was empty at the time, but she says there are typically between 50 and 70 kids in that building during the day. 2 people inside that car, both are in the hospital in critical condition. And 3 people are recovering after a driver crashed into a Seattle pizza restaurant. This happened Friday night in Ravenna. Police say the driver ran a red light and crashed into Mio Posto. Officers did not arrest the driver because he was not under the influence. Police say he was ticketed and will be liable for damages and medical expenses. No timeline yet for when that restaurant plans to reopen.
The mountains they call them a sawtooth because they look like a saw blade on edge.
And that is the area authorities are now focusing on. Tonight, more than a month after deputies say Travis Decker killed his 3 daughters. A family visiting the Sawtooth National Forest in Idaho over the weekend says they saw someone who looked like Decker in the Bear Creek area. Now, the U.S. Marshal's Office says it is teaming up with the U.S. Forest Service and Sheriff's Office to canvass part of that forest. The bodies of Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia were found at the beginning of June near a campground just west of Leavenworth. Their father has been on the run ever since. The so-called Belltown Hellcat driver is going to jail. He's the man accused of driving around Seattle streets at speeds reaching 107 miles an hour. King 5's Madison Wade was in the courtroom today for the sentencing and brings us the details.
Miles Hudson, the Belltown Hellcat driver's real name, was sentenced to a month in jail. It's a shorter sentence than what the city attorney was hoping for. Reaching 107 miles an hour, speeding through the streets of Seattle, boasting on social media has led to this. 30 days in jail and a list of rules to follow for the Belltown Hellcat driver, Miles Hudson.
I really want to impress on you how much you need to change your behavior. It's clear I'm trying to protect the public, but I want you to, but I'm also trying to protect you. You really could have been killed.
The judge ordered Hudson can't drive any vehicle for the next 6 months, must complete 24 hours of community service and defensive driving school, among other rules to follow. Miles Hudson, dressed in a suit wearing a face mask, did not make a statement during his sentencing, but referred to his attorney's statement.
What we have is a 19-year-old kid who was doing stupid stuff.
His attorney asked the judge to take his age into consideration for his sentencing.
The purpose of my sentence is twofold. One, it is to hold you accountable for your behavior. And two, it is to ensure that you stop endangering yourself and others.
Meanwhile, the city attorney wanted a longer sentence for Hudson, saying he does not take responsibility for his actions.
Mr. Hudson has been a thorn in the side of the Belltown community for a long time.
Hoping for positive change and accountability, the judge handed down the sentence, and Hudson walked out for one more day before serving his time. Hudson will have to surrender to jail in 24 hours. If he violates any of his sentencing judgment, he could face more time. In Seattle, Madison Wade, King 5 News.
Well, tomorrow, King County Assessor John Wilson will learn whether he'll face criminal charges. Police arrested Wilson last week on suspicion of stalking and violating a court order. He's been under a temporary restraining order since May after his former partner, Lee Keller, accused him of harassment. A police report states that Wilson violated the no contact provision in June by texting Keller and then reportedly driving by her home. Now, a different judge has ordered that he needs to stay away.
The court finds that a majority of the factors have been weighed in favor of a stay, so the court is going to grant a 90-day continuance. In part, that is because of the need to get further additional information regarding the criminal matter.
Wilson will have another hearing tomorrow to determine whether charges will be filed. Neighbors in White Center are trying to piece together what happened after what seemed like a chaotic ICE arrest outside of a pawn shop. King 5's race and equity reporter Sharon Yu is in the newsroom to break down what we know.
People in White Center thought they were watching ICE agents make an arrest on Saturday, but with masks on and no ICE markings on their clothes, at this point, it's unclear.
Look, bro, look what's happening, bro.
This is video of what seems like an ICE arrest taken Saturday outside of Cash America Pawn in White Center.
No.
A woman speaks in Spanish to people in face masks and vests. Some of the vests say police, but not ICE or DHS for Department of Homeland Security. Currently, there are no laws preventing federal immigration agents from covering their faces. U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi defended face masks in a Senate committee hearing last week, citing agents were being threatened.
I can assure you that if they're covering their faces now, it's to protect themselves.
Federal rules do require immigration officers to identify themselves as someone who is authorized to make an arrest. It's unclear from this video whether that happened. The video continues to show a woman being put inside the back seat of an unmarked white SUV. It's this kind of action, without people knowing exactly who is showing up and taking someone away, that's heightening the level of fear.
All I heard was the tires screeching.
Naomi Bailey, who runs the coffee store across the parking lot, says she and a customer ran toward the noise.
I almost got arrested with them just yelling at them. Like, they were yelling at me to back up, that my customer backed all the way back and he was yelling at them.
After putting the woman inside the car, the agents pull away from the parking lot.
So right here, she's saying that they don't have anyone.
Octavio Rivera says his friend who shot the video sent it to him.
From what my friend told me, she sells food.
Rivera, whose mother is well known for running a hair salon in White Center, says this video has sparked a heavy conversation for his family.
My mom pulled us to the side and we had a talk about, in case she gets deported, who she's going to leave everything with.
Leaving a neighborhood silent with fear.
Even today, I went to go drive around and there was no street vendors that I could see.
We reached out to ICE for any sort of confirmation, but they did not reply. In Seattle, Sharon Yu, King 5 News.
It's going to be beautiful once it's done, but when is it going to be done?
SeaTac Airport still under construction, even as it continues to break travel records. Still ahead, how passengers need to navigate the caution tape at several terminals. Also, coyotes spotted in broad daylight in a Seattle neighborhood, right there in the play field. The new warning, as neighbors say the sightings are happening out in the open.
And we're back in the 80s heading into Tuesday, and it looks like a lot of this week still is going to be very summer-like. We do have a cool down, or at least a brief one on the way middle part of the week. We'll tell you more about that coming up.